Right, welcome back. How's everyone doing? Today's little video, we're just going through how to install a block paver driveway. I've done a few of these. Just want to go through it with everyone. So obviously, first of all, you want to dig up. In this case, we were digging up concrete, so had the digger. Probably better to have a 1.5 rather than a 008, but we work with what we work with. So you want to break up all the concrete using a breaker and a sledgehammer. Ideal tools are sort of a breaker, sledgehammer, lump hammer, an iron bar. You either get it taken away in a grab lorry, or in this case we took it away on my van, tipper van, so ideal. If you're getting it on the grab, you want to board out with some sheets of ply or something like that on the driveway out the front. Once you've done all the concrete, dug the area out, this case was concrete then inert. Once you dug the base out, you want to allow for your blocks. So sometimes they can be any size, but let's just say they're 60mm. So you've got your 60mm block, your 50mm of sort of final layer base. Some people use sand, we use 6mm to dust. And then generally, I always recommend 150mm sub base of type 1 or 40mm scale pins. So yeah, you'll need 150mm scale pins, 50mm final base, and then your block. So in this case 60mm. So that's 260mm you need to dig out below finish level. So yeah, fair amount of waste will be coming out of a large size area. Once you dug the area out, you want to make sure any of your drainage is in. If you've got drainage, put any of your ACO drain or just your normal drainage in. And then, once you've done that, made sure your drainage is in, backfilled with pea shingle, obviously. You want to put in your edging. So what we always use when we're doing our edging is we've obviously set up our string line to give us our nice straight line. You want to check your levels, obviously, first as well, so it's not running towards a house. Make sure it always runs away from a house. If it's running towards a house, you're going to need ACO drainage. But yeah, make sure you set your lines up. And then when you're laying your sand and cement, generally we use like a 10mm premix, so 10mm ballast essentially. But you probably could get away with a sharp sand mix. But when you're laying, obviously tools for that is your string line. You want to use a boat level to make sure it's always your blocks are always level, and then obviously your hammer to knock it down in place, and a trowel. And then you always want to make sure your sides are backed up, haunched up on the back, and then we generally sort of cut it off on the front just so that your blocks can always go up to it. It's nothing worse than start to lay all your blocks or your cuts and then you can't get them in because you've got too much concrete on the bottom of your blocks. But once all your blocks are laid, you then, if you've got any drains like drain covers, do those at the same time. You can level off your edging blocks. Once you've got all your blocks in, all your edges in, you want to put in your 150mm sub base of type 1 or 40mm scale pins. Once that's done, you want to compact the entire area. Use like a heavy duty whacker plate, obviously, and just go over it for a good amount of time, because bear in mind this is going to be taking a lot of weight from vehicles. Sometimes you might have work done on the house, which means added load. You could have a vehicle which weighs up to 3.5 tons on there, so make sure it's properly compacted. Once you compacted that, you want to screed in your final layer. So for us, we use something called 6mm to dust, obviously 6mm limestone. This is screeded into place. Obviously, in one of our videos on a larger area, check out up here, we have to use bars and screed off the bars. But if you've got a nice small area like in this video where it's only 3 meters wide, we can use our bit of timber with notches cut out of each end, and we can just screed back off the edging blocks. When you're doing your screed, so say you're using 60mm blocks, you want to cut your notches out of your timber about 57mm. So allow for 3mm to compact down, 3mm minimum to compact down at the end. So yeah, get your timber, notch them out. If you're using 60mm blocks, notch them out at 57mm. So allowing for the blocks to technically be 3mm higher than your edging blocks, but they will compact right at the end. When you're doing your screeding, if you're using a large area, you want to use your bars and a piece of 3 meter timber. If you're using a nice small area like in this video where it's 3 meters wide, you want to use just your timber. And then you also want like a trowel and a float or something like that, just to scrape up any edges. Once that's down, you want to compact that area again with a heavy duty whacker plate, and then you'll go over it again doing a final screed. That area, the final screed, you do not need to whack. It's kind of what you're going to be laying on. Then yeah, once you've done that, nice and easy, it's just laying the blocks. So the way we always manage this is we generally have one laying and one placing the blocks out behind the layer. The person putting them out can then manage the flow of the blocks. So if there's too many smalls going down, stop laying too many smalls, and yeah, they just manage the flow off the blocks really. Once you've laid all your blocks, just use we just use a hammer. Bear in mind as well, you want to have a pot off your sort of final layer, like 6mm for dust in this case. We want to have a pot of 6mm to dust. Every now and again you get like a small or a large, a slightly smaller. I don't know why this is, but we've just found that over the years. Generally one of the size blocks will be slightly smaller, so we just chuck that underneath the block and give it a good whack. Once you've got all your blocks in place, you then want to do your cuts. Obviously, you could use an angle grinder, but recommend using like a disc cutter, and connect it up to the water will make it even easier. But generally, when you're using the water, it washes off your pencil lines. So yeah, but definitely want to use a disc cutter. It's a lot handier and quicker. Get all your cuts done, and then yeah, put those all in. We generally sand it once. So use kiln dried sand and a soft brush to brush that in over the entire area. Once you've done that, whack the entire area. So a lot of people use the rubber on the bottom of the whacker. We've never used that. We always just use boards and whack over the boards. I find it just spreads the sort of weight over the area. It spreads the vibrations over the area rather than just being kind of small area with the rubber on the bottom. But yeah, each their own. Let us know in the comments whether you use just boards or the rubber on the bottom of the whacker. But yeah, once you sanded it, compact with a whacker plate, and then resand. Do a final sanding over the area. We generally just blow off any excess, and there you go. That's how you lay a block pave your driveway. Check out our videos on how to screed up here, and our other block paving videos up here, larger areas, or even smaller areas. There's another video up here for a smaller area, so broken into sections. But yeah, let us know what you think. Has this helped at all? Like, comment, share and subscribe. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. How do you do things differently? Do you do things differently? Let us know in the comments section below. Go follow one of our social medias. You've either got Twitter, Instagram, in the description below. Go give us a follow on other platforms. Really appreciate that. Appreciate all the support. Like, comment, share and subscribe. Peace.